Hey, who here went to Grace Bible Camp this past week? And I bet you guys just had an awesome time. I've heard about awesome videos and maybe even had a chance to make some good friends. Who in here is also excited about school starting up soon? Anybody? Who here wants a few more weeks of summer? Oh man, that's exciting. Mr. Tim is a school teacher, so I'm on the other side where I'm excited and also want a little more time just to kind of hang out and like sleep in and like not have to wear like actual dress pants, you know? So I can feel the excitement and the tension. But I am excited to talk to you guys about a really cool lesson today. And the theme that we're going to look into for the next couple of weeks, you kind of saw with the skit and with the intro, is called True Friends. Now, before we kind of get into the lesson in the Bible story, I want to kind of talk about this word friends, because many times we hear the word friends as like, you know, hey, well, what's up, friends, right? Like, I know that kid, like we say hi, he's in my class, or she's in my class, but like I don't really know her, like we're not really friends, I wouldn't trust her. And we have Facebook, so you have like Facebook friends or followers, and it's very easy to kind of get this idea of you can have a lot of friends, but also be very lonely, which is really kind of a weird concept, but it can happen because you have your life playing games, but then you might be alone, right? And you have friends in one world, but not in another. So when we talk about this word true friends, I want you to get your minds around this idea. Think of it like semicircles. I saw targets back there, right? So if we could think of like maybe like a football stadium, and that you want to go for the bullseye, right? Where you shoot a target. We're at a football stadium. You're going to have people that are going to be on the outside, right? Like if you go to a game, baseball, football, and yeah, you sit like you go to the parking lot and like you park next to them, and that's like your stadium. Like you kind of like I know that kid, but you know. Not really, I know his name. Like we sit next to each other in class, but I don't really know him. And then you can get to your friends that are in the stands with you, right? People that are like cheering next to you. You kind of like get to know them a little bit. You ever been to a sports game? You might like come in there as strangers, but hey, you're a Redskins fan, I'm a Redskins fan. Woo, you know, hey. You know, you're wearing like a Cowboys hat, it's kind of like, oh, I gotta like sit. All right. And then, here's what we're talking about today. If you've ever played on a team, who's here ever played a sport and you're on a team? That's a different kind of relationship. You are on the field, you are fighting the fight together, you have to trust one another, you have to defend one another, and that's what we're going to look at today. We look at true friends. Not the stadium friends, not the ones that are in the stands, but the ones that are actually going to be like on the field. They are our fellow Christians, and they're going to defend us, and they're going to stand by us. We have a really cool story to get into to talk about that. But before I do that, I want to kind of show you a couple things here. In order to be a true friend, you certainly are going to defend some of their words, and that is what we're going to get into with our story. But I want to ask you a couple questions. First off, like side note here, do you guys even know who these people are on the top left? You have a footstone. All right, very good. Right, so you got some friends there. How about over here? Okay. How about these people down here? The Justice League. Yeah. All right. How about these people over here? That's Billy. That's Mary, Susie. No. All right, and then yeah, these are just pictures I just found online, so I don't even know. That's right. So as we look at friendship, I want to ask you a couple questions. Okay. You do not have to raise your hand right now, but I'm going to get Mr. Chuck to come around the room in just a second and kind of think about it. So as we kind of go through some of these questions, don't raise your hand, but just think. Do you have a true friend? Do you have someone that you can really rely on, or someone that you can really depend on, right? We're also going to kind of talk about today, like, why? Like, what's the point, right? I mean, why do I need to have a true friend? As a Christian, it is very important to have a true friend. And I know you guys are getting to the age where maybe you're getting closer friends and you're getting to know people more. It's very important, whether in school or church, to have those true friends. But before we get into that, I want to kind of get you guys to brainstorm here. Don't raise your hand, for about 10 seconds here, I want you to think about this question. What? What do you think makes a true friend? Ready? 10 seconds, think time. Go. Close enough. Mr. Chuck, if you want to go walk around the room, raise your hand if you want to kind of give me an idea of what makes a true friend. I'd love to hear your answer. And we'll try to throw it on the board.
What makes a true friend?
Giving them candy.
Did I hear candy?
Giving them candy, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to put that one up. That does make a good friend, but I don't know if it's a true friend.
What makes a true friend?
You can be kind to them, and if they're like hurt, help them.
Okay, cool. So we got help. Helpful, kind. Yeah.
All right, what makes a true friend?
Helping them.
We got absolutely being a help. We're going to talk about today. It's a really good one. If someone said it, maybe think of something else. Okay, so we don't have repeats.
All right. What makes a true friend?
They hug you.
They hug you?
They help you. Yes, we got it. Very good. Oh, hug you. I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. Okay.
All right, what makes a true friend?
Honesty.
Honesty? All right, what makes a true friend?
Caring about their feelings.
Cool. So you're caring. Yeah. Good.
Always being there for them.
Yep.
Yeah, you're loyal. Excellent. Excellent. Maybe like 3 more, Mr. Chuck, just because of our time.
All right, what?
Playing spin the bottle with them.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's move on. That's not going to be a true friend, right?
Friendship.
Someone that is your friend could be, yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Asking them if they want to be a friend with you.
Yep, that's how you make a true friend.
Yeah, you gotta
Be a friend, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be a friend, right? Like, so you're gonna be dependent on each other, right? Okay. Maybe like 2 more, Mr. Chuck.
All right, what makes a true friend?
Being trustworthy.
Excellent.
Trustworthy?
Yeah, trustworthy. I like it. Right, the word trust.
This is the last one. This is the last one. It's got to be really good. What makes a true friend?
Standing up for them when somebody's talking about them behind their back.
Wow.
Yeah, what was that? Say it again,
He said standing up for them when somebody's talking behind their back.
Nice stuff. Give a round of applause. All those answers. That's really good. Yeah. Okay. And I know you can probably read Mr. Tim's handwriting just so well. I mean, my handwriting is it's magnifique, right? But there's a couple key words we can look at. Like, yes, a true friend is going to have some of these. But I just kind of looked at like an overall picture of like what makes a true friend. Some of these words kind of came to my mind, right? And you can see some of the answers up there because you guys did a great job responding of what makes a true friend. And there's many times, like in TV, we see the Flintstones, right, or Dory, right, or even, these guys, right, You've probably heard the song, "You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend." All right, so we can see like there's friendships. I want us to take that, which is not bad, but it's not biblical. And there's a difference, right? So we're going to now look at a Bible story about a true friend. And we can take away some things about being caring, being kind, but let's actually see something in the Bible that teaches you how to be a true friend. Who in here wants to be a true friend? Who in here wants a true friend? Your hand better be up. Absolutely. So we're going to take a look at a story right now where you actually get to see this played out. All right, our story is in Acts 9:26. Okay, remember that because we'll see that again. But Acts 9 is going to be about 2 guys, our main characters. Okay, we're going to have Paul and we're going to have Barnabas. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk through a little bit because to understand, our story takes 2 verses in the Bible. And you might just blow by it like, what's the big deal? So before we get into the actual story of the lesson today, we got to talk about the behind the scenes, what happened prior to this. And if you understand what happened prior to it, then the story will make so much more sense to you. Okay? So we're going to hit the rewind button. Right? And let's take a look and talk about the life of Paul right before this story happens. Okay? In Acts 9, this is the chapter that involves Saul becoming Paul. And it happened as a result of him going on the road to Damascus. So let's talk about that a little bit. Because who is this guy, Saul Paul? Well, we know he wrote most of the New Testament. We know that he is such a founding pillar to Christianity. But before that, he was Saul. He was a Jew, he was a Pharisee, but he wasn't just any Pharisee. He was the top Pharisee. He's the leader of the group of people that oppose Christians. So him being the leader, he is known as being the top echelon. If you were a Christian, you feared this guy. He's the guy that's going to be going to doors and finding out if you're part of the way, or if you believe in Jesus, you're getting put in jail. He didn't just throw daddies in jail, he threw mommies in jail as well. So this is a feared guy that like people knew, stay away from him if you're part of this new faith called Christianity. So what we can see in the Bible is that he was actually there with the stoning of Stephen. Stephen was a martyr who believed in Jesus, and he died for his faith. And Saul was there. So Saul is going through the Jerusalem area, and he's persecuting these people called Christians at the time. Okay? Until he's traveling. And he's going to this place called Damascus, a little bit further away than Jerusalem. And on his way to Damascus, you guys know the story, a bright light hit him. And basically, Jesus, God is going to be speaking to him, saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And it is a life-changing moment. After that, Saul is going to fall on his knees and say, I'm sorry, and I'm going to change my ways. But it didn't happen like that quickly, because he's going to kind of be blinded. Like he could open his eyes, but he couldn't really see, until this guy comes in. Ananias. And I want you to just think for a second. This is not part of our story, but I find this really, really cool. Right? Ananias knows that this guy's a bad dude. Like he knows you stay away from Saul. Because you go near him, you might not be seen again, especially if you're a Christian. God calls out Ananias and says, hey, Ananias, there's this guy Saul, and I know who that is, or Saul Tarsus. You need to go speak to him. You need to go talk to him and go pray with him. Imagine the faith that took in Ananias. You have to go up against the guy that you know to be the one that's throwing Christians in jail, and yet he's still following. Right? After this took place, Saul becomes Paul. He's able to see. This conversion is going on. And now he's in Jerusalem, basically, and he has to escape because people heard about this. Like, what, you turned on us? You were our leader. We were going after these Christians. Now you're one of them? So he had to hide from them. Right? And you probably heard this story. This is like later on in Acts 9, around like verse 23. They basically have to hide this guy. And they get him out by like breaking through the wall of Jerusalem, lowering him down in a basket for him to be out. Right? So Saul is now Paul. Major conversion has happened. Okay? Here's where our story picks up. So now Paul has returned back to Jerusalem. Right? The place where he's known to be the head honcho Pharisee guy, and he's here speaking to a bunch of guys, and a bunch of people. Right? But there's some questions. And you can understand, like, people in the crowd are talking and kind of thinking, whoa, should we trust this guy or not? Because for all we know, maybe he's like a setup. Right? Maybe he's here, like, trying to get our confidence and turn us all in. And then steps Barnabas. Barnabas is the classic example of a true friend. Because he's going to come in and he's going to say, no. Paul, actually, I believe him. I wasn't there, but I'm going to believe. And I'm going to step up and say, listen, don't attack him. Right? I want to stand with this guy. So he protected him from the insults. And then he's like, let's build this church together, Paul. And Paul and Barnabas were kind of known as working together throughout much of the Bible and helping to build Christianity. So I want to talk about Barnabas just for a second. Barnabas has a cool nickname. Like, that's not his real name. Barnabas actually means son of encouragement. Who in here has a good nickname? You know, a nickname, I don't know, toothbrush, Stinky Pete. I mean, whatever your nickname is, it's probably not as cool. Maybe like you got a nickname after like the camp, right? You're like, oh man, there's Waffle, or I don't know, or, hey, it's a nickname. So his name is Joseph, but they call him Barnabas, which means son of encouragement. I have an example, an object lesson to show you encouragement. Give me like 2 seconds to set this up, and it may completely fail. So just let you know, it's an idea I had, but here's what encouragement means when I think of encouragement. Okay. So when we think of encouragement, I think of a balloon, right? And I want to do this in a way that lets you see encouragement. Now, I don't know, I've got to kind of turn this around here. Blow this up. It's going to go this way. I need a kid volunteer. Come on up. You in the black right there. Yep, come on down. Take this ring for me. And take that ring and go all the way to that stage right there. Make it nice and tight. Okay, this will work better. All right, I think of encouragement. There you go. All right. Encouragement is like something that propels you, right? It's something that pushes you along. So you gotta go a little further. You gotta make this thing nice and tight, right? This is just a fun science experiment. I love cheap science experiments here, right? But when you think of encouragement, I want you to kind of get this object lesson in your mind. It's something that moves you forward, right? If you made a fire before, you've got to kind of like encourage it. You've got to throw in, some hay or some kindling. You've got to help it along, right? Well, Paul definitely needed some help. In comes Barnabas to be this, right? Let's see if this works. Pull it nice and tight. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Come on! I will not do that again, but here you go. You get a piece of candy. Nice job. Give her a round of applause. That was nice. There you go. Okay, all right. So now that we have this mental picture of what encouragement is, let's go to our story. The story's going to take place in Acts 9:26, 9:28. I'm just going to read it to you, and then we're going to talk about it real quickly. Okay? When starts out with this is going to be Paul. So Paul's now back in front of Jerusalem, and he's talking to these Christians. When he had come to Jerusalem, he attempted to join the disciples, and they were all afraid of him. Understandable, right? It's the guy that would imprison you. For they did not believe that he was a disciple. So there's a skepticism going on, right? But Barnabas took him and brought him to the apostles. And he declared to them how on the road he had seen the Lord, who spoke to him, and how at Damascus he had preached boldly in the name of Jesus. So he went in and among them at Jerusalem, preaching boldly in the name of the Lord. Barnabas came to his defense. Barnabas stepped in and was able to say, hey, listen, this is the guy that you need to believe in. I'm going to kind of put my own credibility. I'm going to say you need to trust him. And so we can get 3 lessons from Barnabas through this. Okay? As we kind of look at the story and the significance here. And this gets back to being a true friend. Barnabas is going to believe him, right? And this is important because in order to be a true friend, you've got to have a belief. You've got to have confidence. You've got to have faith. You've got to say, I'm going to stick my neck out and I'm going to believe what this person says. I don't know if you've ever had people who say, that didn't happen. There's no way that happened. And you're like telling the truth, and you're like, no, seriously. There's a bear in my backyard, and it jumped on my trampoline. It was the coolest thing ever, right? No way. You go, yeah, it's awesome. I don't believe you, right? Well, a true friend will step out and say, if you say it's true, I'm going to step out and say I believe you, right? That's our first lesson we can take away from Barnabas. Our second thing is that defendant. He's going to step out and say, no, I'm going to take the insults. I'm going to defend him. So belief is saying, I'm with you, man. Now defense is saying, it's you and me against them. We're going to protect you, right? Like, I'm going to stick my neck out and I'm going to defend. And so, in my bear analogy, you say, no, just don't make fun of him. Well, it's just, a silly analogy here. But as a Christian, this is important for us. Because there may be times when friends are going to say, she doesn't go to see that movie. She doesn't use these words. She doesn't have these kind of friends. If you have a true friend, they're not only just going to believe, they're going to stick with you. And they're going to say, hey, you don't need that. Right? And that this is what, you need to kind of avoid. And then lastly here, Barnabas is going to help. He's going to basically say, hey, not only am I going to kind of stick my neck out and be with you and defend you, I want to help you. If you go on to read in Acts, what do you think happens in the church in Jerusalem? Did it shrink or did it just explode in size? It expanded. Because Barnabas is going to say, listen, this guy's got a message. You need to believe him, and I think you should support him. Other people then got on his team and said, okay, we're going to believe Paul. And Paul, again, wrote almost the entire section of the New Testament. Right? I mean, he's one of the top missionaries. He's one of these guys that's going to go through all out the land and basically preach Jesus. And thousands upon thousands come to know Jesus. Okay? And that's what we see in Acts 9:31. So that being said, what I want to do is I want to have a chance to just kind of review this with you here a little bit, right? In order to be a good friend, you're going to trust someone, right? It takes trust. It takes courage, and it takes sacrifice. And I know at your age, this might not seem as a big deal, but as you keep going, and as you're a Christian, you'll realize life can be hard. There's going to be people that don't like you. They might not like what you think of, what you believe. It's great to have true friends that will stand beside you and to protect you. I've got an object lesson, one more here I want to show you before we get to our look it up. I need my 3 guys. Can y'all come on down for me? I asked y'all to come on down at the beginning. All right, going down here. Jack, come on this side over here. Let's do this on the ground, actually. Little tangles, it's all right. Tangles aren't going to do anything. There you go. All right, grab that side there. So here's an illustration I want to kind of show you of the significance of having a true friend. Now let's say that this is Jack and he is without a true friend and he's got some bad dudes here that, they're not very nice and they're all like, we're going to challenge you. We don't believe you, right? Jack's by himself. And then he does have Jesus on his side and he's strong and that. But having a true friend can make a difference. So let's see. Let's go through this. Let's see how we can do. Jack versus our obstacles. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Good try, Jack. Good try. We lost it. But now Jack's going to get a true friend. Mr. Chuck, you are such a good friend. Come on down, man. Step away here. Here's what a true friend can do. Ready? On your mark. Get set, go. Nice. Give a round of applause. Nice job. As they're getting some monkey brains and getting fed in that, let's get fed in the Word. Get your Bibles up for me. I want to kind of take a look at our what's up here to show you a Bible verse of Exodus. Our Bible verse today is come from Proverbs 18:24. You put the lights on, guys. Let's take just a minute or so here. Proverbs 18:24. All right, about 5 seconds. I'm going to pull it on the screen. We can read it together, okay? Proverbs in the middle of your Bible, 18:24. Here's our look it up verse. Shh. Quiet as we read it together. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And this is a cool verse because it shows two things in my mind. Right? It shows the importance of having a true friend. Right? Someone that's going to stick closer than a brother or sister. I mean, someone that is, stronger than family, if you will. That's a true friend. However, even if you don't have a true friend, for whatever reason, you have Jesus. And Jesus is a friend like no other. He's a person that will defend you. He'll trust you. I mean, he believes in you, right? He's going to help you. And that is something that we can take away from this to show that, yes, having a true friend is really important. But if you're a Christian, you're a guy. You have Mr. Chuck in the back, right? You have a friend that is stronger than anyone else. Okay, close down your Bibles for me. I'm going to give you the so what. Right? So we understand this. We understand the story and the significance of Barnabas stepping in and saying, hey, I believe him. I'm going to defend him and I'm going to help him. Let me give you a few things I can take away here. Being a true friend will not always be easy. Right? If you are a true friend, that means you might have to defend and stick up and, say, hey, it might put you out. I'm sure it wasn't easy for Barnabas to go against every single other person and say, I believe him, I stand with him. Right? But again, it's loyalty, as you guys said up here. It's helping them out. It's being caring and having that friendship. Please choose your friends wisely. I cannot stress this enough, especially as you're starting a brand new school year, where now you're entering into a different grade, maybe a different school, or just a different group of friends now. Please choose them wisely. Because as we can look at, like having a true friend, people who are going to support you and help you, that's Mr. Chuck down here, right? And being a Christian, that's what we need in our lives, and these true friends are going to help us in our faith, in our walk. And they're not going to discourage us from reading the Bible, not going to discourage us from going to church, from not saying certain words or going to certain movies, right? We need friends that can help encourage us on that. If you want a true friend, you got to be one. So be prepared to sacrifice, to help, to defend, right? It's that give and take relationship. Friendships will change. Paul and Barnabas actually broke apart for a little while. They had a dispute, but then they came back together later on in the Bible. So just kind of know as you go through life, friendships will change, but it's important to be that true friend. Okay? This is just the last picture I'll show you here. Here's some colleagues that Mr. Tim works with at my school. This is part of a teacher volleyball game. And they're friends, but my best friend is by far my wife. Right? I mean, hands down, right? And I have other true friends, and it's going to change over time, right? I didn't always have my wife, right? But it's important to have those people throughout your life that can help you and support you. You want people in your life that'll do this, right? They're going to believe, they're going to defend, and they're going to help us. And again, as a final reminder here, if you're at a school where there's just nobody that you can really be a true friend with, and you're just in a position where my friends are just not Christians, I just don't have that, remember, you have Jesus. And he is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He is a friend that is with you throughout anything you go through. And it's something you can hold on to and be joyful in as you go through this life. Okay? I want to bow our heads and I want to pray, and then we'll have shockwave. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time and this reminder, Lord, that you are closer than a brother and that you have put people in our lives that we can count on to be true friends. I pray for every single child in this room that they can find someone special like that in their life, that they can depend on, that they will learn to be close with and to grow and Lord, be willing to defend and help out. We thank you for our friends that we have in this class. We thank you for Blossom. We thank you for the changes that are going to happen and the new school year and all the things that are going on these next couple of weeks. But please help us to keep you first, Lord. And please put someone in our lives that we can say, hey, that person is my true friend. Be with us now as we go to Shockwave, and as we continue to learn. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.